The talent show. Tina, there's a school talent show in 3 weeks, I shouted to my best friend. My older brother had been teaching me juggling, and I knew he'd help me with my act for the show. Tina ran over to the bulletin board and read the poster. Mara, what's our act going to be? Tina asked me. Our act, I said, taking a tighter grip on my books. Tina grinned, pointed to the poster, and said, It says acts can be individuals, partners, or small groups. My grip on my books became uncomfortably tight. You want to do an act together? It'll be fun, Tina said. I hesitated for a second before continuing. I've got an idea and… Tina interrupted me. Yeah, me too. Let's talk at lunch. During math, I tried to think of how I would tell Tina that I wanted to do my own act. After all, we are best friends. We should be able to see eye to eye about this. The problem is Tina always takes charge. I don't speak up. And then I end up feeling resentful about the whole situation. I desperately wanted to win, but it was more than that. I wanted to win on my own, with an act that was all mine. At lunch, Tina started talking as soon as we sat down. I have it all planned out. My inspiration came from that new TV show, You've Got Talent. We can sing along to a song and do a dance routine, and my mother can make us costumes. Yeah, that's good, I said, but I had another idea. I told her about my juggling act. Tina considered it. Nah, I don't think I can learn to juggle in 3 weeks, and I'd probably drop the ball, she said. We don't want to be humiliated, right? At recess, I ran around the track a couple of times just to let off steam. When my grandmother picked me up after school, she drove a few minutes and finally said, Cat got your tongue? I explained about the talent show as she listened carefully. So Tina is not being respectful of your ideas, but it sounds as if you aren't either. What? I shouted. I told Tina her idea was good. No, said my grandmother. I said that you weren't respectful of your own ideas, or you would have spoken up. I understand that you're friends, but you're still accountable for your own actions. I thought about this. So what should I do? I asked. I advise you to tell the truth, she said. It wouldn't hurt to let Tina know what you want. Besides, my grandmother added, it will be good for your self-esteem. When we got home, I took 12 deep breaths, called Tina, and told her that I was going to do my juggling act. She was curt on the phone, and I spent all night worrying she would be mad at me. The next day, she described her act and her costume. But the biggest surprise came at recess, when we played a game that I chose, not Tina. I guess standing up for myself did pay off. Genre: narrative fiction. Essential question: how can science help you understand how things work? Read how Alex and Liam want to use science to help them win a race. The Big Race. Dialogue balloons. This race car simulator is cool. Let's try it. Alex and Liam planned to build a car for the Soapbox Derby. As a result of their inquiry into how to build a fast car, they had come to the Science Museum today for answers. Last week, Alex's mother had called one of the museum's scientists. When they walked into the museum, a woman in a lab coat and inline skates zoomed up and greeted them. "Hi, I'm Clara. Are you the boys who want to know what will make a car go fast?" "Yes, I'm Alex, and that's Liam," Alex responded. "Why are you wearing inline skates, Clara?" Liam asked. "I'm a champion skater," Clara claimed, doing a spin. Then she whispered, "That's not my true identity. I'm a scientist. Skates make it easier to get around. Follow me." It's about speed. "Welcome to our On the Move exhibit," Clara announced as they entered a large room. "So, tell me about the race." "There will be 20 cars in the race. We'll be going down the steepest hill in town," Alex said. "Sounds thrilling. It must be exciting to go fast," Clara answered as she pressed buttons on a machine. "This is a virtual race car, and this screen shows you the virtual race course and your speed. Speed is the distance an object moves in a certain amount of time." Dialogue balloon. "I'm Clara. Welcome." Forces at work. Alex and Liam climbed into the machine. Each seat had a steering wheel and a screen in front of it. Clara said, "Since you want to build a fast car, you need to know about forces and how they affect motion." "What's a force?" asked Liam. Clara continued, "A force is a push or a pull. Forces cause things to move or cause a change in motion. When I apply a big enough force on an object, like this stool, it moves. If two objects are exactly the same, the object that receives a bigger force will accelerate or increase its speed," Clara said, pushing two stools at the same time. "Which stool received a bigger force?" Clara asked. "The one on the right. It went farther," said Liam. "So, giving our car a big push at the top of the hill will cause it to accelerate and go faster," Alex summarized. Dialogue balloons. A force is a push or pull. "There's a sharp curve coming up. I'm going to accelerate now." Gravity and friction. Clara smiled. "Right. Another force acting on your car is gravity. Gravity is a pulling force between two objects." Clara took a tennis ball out of her pocket. "When I drop this ball, gravity pulls it towards the floor. It's the same force that pulls your car down the hill. So a big push gives us an advantage over other cars, and gravity will keep us going." "How do we stop?" Liam asked. "You'll need friction. Friction is a force between two surfaces that slows objects down or stops them from moving. For example, I lean back on my skates, and the friction between the rubber stoppers and the floor slows me down," said Clara. "Thanks, Clara. The virtual race car was cool. I knew we had the skills and capabilities to win the race, but now we have science on our side, too," Liam grinned. Dialogue balloon. You need friction.
Time for kids. Essential question. How can starting a business help others? Read about how two companies are making a difference. Dollars and cents. Behind the success of these big businesses is a desire to help others. Good business is not always about the bottom line. A compassionate company knows that making money is not the only way to measure success. Many large businesses in the United States and all over the world are finding unusual ways to help people in need. Hearts and souls. After starting and running 4 businesses, Blake Mycoskie wanted a break from his usual routine. In 2006, he traveled to Argentina in South America, and while he was there, he learned to sail and dance. He also visited poor villages where very few of the children had shoes. Mycoskie decided he had to do something. I'm going to start a shoe company, and for every pair I sell, I'm going to give 1 pair to a kid in need. For this new undertaking, Mycoskie started the business using his own money. He named it Tom's, Shoes for Tomorrow. The slip-on shoes are modeled on shoes that are traditionally worn by Argentine workers. Mycoskie immediately set up his innovative 1-for-1 program. Tom's gives away 1 pair of shoes for every pair that is purchased. Later that year, Mycoskie returned to Argentina and gave away 10,000 pairs of shoes. By 2011, Tom's had donated over 1 million pairs. The company has expanded to sell eyeglasses. In a similar program, 1 pair of eyeglasses is donated for every pair that is bought. Mycoskie is pleased and surprised. I always thought I would spend the first half of my life making money and the second half giving it away, Mycoskie says. I never thought I could do both at the same time. Giving back rocks. Have you ever seen a Hard Rock Cafe? The company runs restaurants and hotels. In 1990, the company launched a new enterprise, charity. Since then, it has given away millions of dollars to different causes. Its motto is, love all, serve all. One way the company raises funds for charity is by selling a line of T-shirts. The process starts with rock stars designing the art that goes on the shirts. Then the shirts are sold on the internet. Part of the money that is raised from the sales of the shirts is given to charity. Employees at Hard Rock Cafe locations are encouraged to raise money for their community. Every store does it differently. Captions: Tom's employees unpack shoes to give away. The Hard Rock Cafes are successful and give back to the community. The restaurant in Hollywood, Florida, worked with some exceptional students from 2 Florida high schools. Together, they put on an event to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. The foundation grants wishes to children with serious medical problems. The bottom line. Every day, companies are thinking of innovative ways to give back to their community. If you own a business, making a profit is important. However, helping others is just as important as the bottom line. Helping others is good business. Bar graph: Top 5 biggest charities. 1. United Way worldwide. $3,842,018,486. 2. The Salvation Army. $1,719,268,000. 3. AmeriCares. $1,194,350,692. 4. Feed the Children. $1,191,965,901. 5. Food for the Poor. $1,076,390,140. Caption: Individuals as well as businesses are committed to helping people in need. This graph shows the American charities that got the most donations in one recent year and how much money they raised. Genre: Folktale. Essential question: What are some messages in animal stories? Read how a poor fisherman is helped by the caw bird. The Fisherman and the Kaha Bird. Long ago there lived an old fisherman who made his pitiful living catching fish. All day the old man sat on the riverbank waiting for the fish to bite, but he never had more than 1 or 2 small fish to sell at the market. He and his wife were always hungry. One morning the tired old fisherman trudged slowly to the river. Suddenly a great bird with bright dazzling silver feathers settled in the tree above him. The delighted fisherman knew this was the magnificent Kaha, a glittering bird that occasionally appeared to help the poor or the sick. "I see you work for very little reward," the Kaha said. "I wish to help. Every day I will bring a large fish to your house that you can sell at the market." The old man couldn't believe his luck. As the days passed, the honest Kaha kept her promise. The fisherman sold the fish and came home with plenty of food. Soon he was bringing home clothing made from brightly colored silk fabric for his wife. At the market one day, the Shah's crier made an announcement. "Find the great Kaha for our eminent Shah and receive a reward of 50 bags of gold." The fisherman thought, "If I had 50 bags of gold, I would be rich. But how can I betray the bird?" He argued with himself until finally his greed for gold blinded him to the generosity of the Kaha bird. He told the Shah's crier about the Kaha and requested assistance in catching her. He asked for 400 men to help him. That evening, 400 servants followed the fisherman home. They hid among the trees as the fisherman set out a feast to tempt the bird. When the Kaha landed in a tree, the old man said, "Come dine with me, dear friend. I wish to express my gratitude." The Kaha, touched by the fisherman's kindness and attracted to the delicious meal, flew down to join him. Immediately the fisherman grabbed the Kaha by the feet and cried out to the servants to help him. The startled Kaha spread her wings. She began to fly up with the fisherman pulling at her. A servant caught the fisherman by the feet, but the bird rose higher. A second and third servant grabbed onto the first until soon 400 servants hung by one another's feet as the Kaha soared upward. Looking down, the fisherman could just barely see the river below. If he hadn't betrayed the Kaha, he would not be in this predicament. There was but one thing to do. The fisherman let go of the great bird's feet. The servants and the fisherman tumbled from the sky and landed in the river. It was many weeks before the fisherman had healed enough to fish again. Every day the old fisherman looked up at the sky for a sign of the beautiful silver bird, but the Kaha was never seen again.